What's going on YouTube? H-Dub here, and you know we playing raid. We got the Frost Spider Doom Tower rotation going on. This is one of the easier rotations in my opinion, but the secret rooms never really get easy unless you've made a ton of progress on your account, leveled up a ton of champions, because some of these rooms require you to have some really niche champions on your account. Some you might not build for other areas, but I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the champions that I'm using for this room in particular, Secret Room 4 on the Hard Doom Tower, which is the epic champions from the Lizardman faction only. A lot of people might not have a ton of epic Lizardman champions built up, but some people may have an Aox built up because he can be used in a lot of places, right? You might also have a Jarig because he has an ally protection and decreased attack, so he's a great clan boss champion, right? Aox used in a ton of places. Iron Twins, you can use him on any of the bosses, honestly, and he's great there as long as, you know, he can stay alive. But these other guys, who are we going to put in these other roles, right? I've got 3 champions that you may or may not have built at all, but maybe sitting in your vault, maybe sitting on your account. And if you want to go, you know, get through those Ramontu missions, you're going to have to beat all the secret rooms on a single rotation. So this is one of the easier ones in my opinion, and I just wanted to share with you guys the champions that I'm using for that. So obviously Aox, Jarig, a lot of people know them, but I'll show the builds that I have on them. Aox is in full perception. I do use this Aox in the Iron Twins, so he's around 463 accuracy, 207 speed, right? 62k HP. Not enough defense, but it's what I could get. I haven't, you know, touched this build in a really long time since the Iron Twins first came out, but I run him with an accuracy aura, so to get him over the 500. The masteries I have on him down into War Master, T6, just so we can get some extra damage every time he, you know, gets a hit off. He also has poisons on the A1. Support tree, increase those heals. So we're going down the left side, and obviously down here, get you know, some extra heals, get some extra accuracy, Lore of Steel to get a set bonus for us, and then a chance to just extend those debuffs that he's putting up. Obviously his kit, you know, poisons on the A1. He's got the heal on the A2. He's got the decreased attack and the decreased crit rate on the A3, as well as the turn meter control. And his passive is pretty cool too. Increases the duration of 2 random debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn when attacked, and it occurs once per hit. He has an accuracy aura, which is specific to the Doom Tower. Now, Jarig, the other champion you might be familiar with, I've just got him in some mixed sets here. We got, you know, 2 immortal, a random stun helmet, random immortal weapon, and 2, you know, divine speed sets. 81k HP, a little bit of defense. He's rather slow, he could be better, and a little bit of resistance. These are the masteries I have on him. I could honestly go down the offense tree and get War Master, and it'll probably give me a faster run, and I should probably go down this way to, you know, increase the duration of the ally protection. So I should probably revisit these masteries. These honestly aren't great masteries for him, guys, but they work. That's what's on him at the moment. Now, the other champions that I'm using to complete the secret room are 1, Skathix, Broodlord, and Quadrant the Crown. So let's go over Skathix really quickly. On his A1, attacks one enemy, 30% chance of placing a decreased speed for 2 turns. And you could book that up to a 50% chance. On the A2, he has an AoE that has a 75% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each enemy. So this is a really strong skill, and you can book this up to a 100% chance on a 3-turn cooldown. So AoE on the 3-turn cooldown, viable for a stun set, which I do have on him. On the A3, removes all debuffs from all allies, then places a block debuffs and a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. The shield buff is equal to 20% of this champion's max HP, which is a strong skill. So if you build him with high HP, you'll get a bigger shield. His passive ability places block damage on himself for 1 turn whenever his HP drops below 30%. So solid passive ability there. I don't have masteries on this champion at all. He works fine without them. Masteries would only help him. And we've got him in an immortal set as well as a stun set. He could have more HP. If I, tank him out a bit more, we'll get a bigger shield. But this is the current build that I have him in. Would like to get him a bit faster as well, but solid kit overall. The decreased speed helps a lot, and he could have a bit more accuracy. I should probably rebuild him at some point, but it works for now. Broodlord is missing a piece of gear. We're gonna have to throw it back on him, but full perception, you know, try to get him with decent accuracy, decent speed. These are the stats that I have on him, you know, without the piece that's missing, obviously, and I'll throw one on him in a second before we take a look at the run. But, you know, decent speed, decent accuracy, a little bit of resist. On the A1, he's going to attack one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a provoke for 1 turn if the target is under decreased speed. And, you know, we have another champion who's bringing decreased speed in on their A1, so solid ability. On the A2, places a 50% ally protection buff on an ally for 2 turns, then a block debuffs buff on that ally for 1 turn. Also places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns, equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. So he's doing some ally protection as well. He's doing some shielding on himself, block debuffs as well. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, so solid ability for sure. His A3 is an AoE stun, right? And the chance is going to increase to 75% against enemies under decreased speed. So we have someone doing decreased speed for us, and it's just going to increase the chance that he is going to stun. This is on a 3-turn cooldown as well. So this is why we're trying to get him, you know, with a decent amount of speed, decent amount of accuracy, just so he can, you know, be in there providing some CC for us, some stuns, some provokes, a little bit of protection as well. His passive ability, whenever this champion is attacked or whenever allies under ally protection buffs are attacked, has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed. So he's also going to place decreased speed himself, which is just going to increase his ability to stun people. So he's much better in a longer fight. I have done a guide on him already and showcased him in the Doom Tower already. So very solid champion for this. He can also be used very well in the faction. And the last champion that we're going to be using is Quargan the Crown, who is also a solid champion, has a solid kit. We've got him in a speed set, an immortal set, and a resist set. These are his total stats here: 62k HP, just over 3k defense, a bit of speed, not a whole lot, and just, you know, decent amount of resist. You could elect to, you know, drop the resist and give him more HP or what have you. I do not have masteries on this champion because I do not need them for what we're using him for. They will only help though. I do have him booked though. On the A1, attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of a random buff on a random ally by 1 turn. So you can book that up to 50% chance, and this is a strong ability because, you know, with this comp, you're going to be putting up shields, you're going to be putting up block debuffs, you're going to be putting up ally protection. So getting a chance to increase the duration every time he uses his A1 is really strong. And then we've got Aox, who's potentially increasing the duration of the debuffs on our opponents whenever he's hit. So I feel like this comp really has a ton of synergy. On his A2, heals all allies by 15% of their max HP and places a shield buff equal to 15% of their max HP on all allies for 2 turns. So we've got more shields here and more heals. Very strong on a 3-turn cooldown. You can also book up the heals and the shield value. On the A3, places a veil, a perfect veil, and a 50% increased attack for 2 turns on all allies whose attack is higher than their defense. No one in this comp is really going to have higher attack than defense because we want them to survive. We don't have a reviver here. He's also going to place a block debuff buff for 1 turn and a 60% increased defense buff for 2 turns on all allies whose defense is higher than their attack. So we're going to get some more block debuffs. We're going to get increased defense. And this is on a 4-turn cooldown book. So all of the champions that I've selected, we pretty much are slow rolling our way through here. We got Aox, who's probably coming through doing most of the damage for us. A few champions with AoE abilities, right? We're stunning, we're controlling. Let's go ahead and throw one piece of gear on our boy Broodlord really quickly, and then we can go ahead and see what this comp looks like in action. So I'm going to let it go full auto. Obviously, there are, you know, revivers here. We've got Jarek here doing counterattack. We got Drake, who's going to take extra turns if he kills someone. So we want to be cautious of that. But I'm just going to let it run on auto, see what it does. and it's going to be a long one. So we just did that full auto, didn't click on any champion, none of that. Obviously you can click on the broad moss to try to kill them faster so they're not reviving, prolonging the run. I would say Skatix is 100% the MVP for me there. If you don't have him, I'm sure you can get it done with other champions, but full auto, this guy just makes it so possible just because, you know, he's placing some decreased speed. He's going to be stealing buffs off of each champion. So the ally protection that goes up, right? The counterattacks that go up, the block damage that Broadmaw puts up if he revives, he's going to get a chance to steal all of that. And it's on a 3-turn cooldown. So you gotta invest in this guy if you have him and you want to get this secret room done. This guy is just going to make it easy for you to coast through. Obviously, if we had masteries on him, it would be a lot faster. If we had masteries on all of these champions like T6 War Master masteries, we could honestly do this a ton faster because we'd be getting a bunch more damage out, but you don't need them, right? You don't need them. You just need the champs and you just need the gear. The gear isn't even anything crazy. I already showed it, but thank you guys for your support as always, and thank you for watching. If you haven't had a chance to check out the new channel that I've been working on with Chosen, Cold Brew, and Scratch, please go and check it out. I'll put a link to it down below for sure. But we've got some awesome guides here on champions, you know, uploading every day. Every day we're putting up new guides, awesome graphics as well for these champions. So definitely check it out. We'd really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. It's really going to help us out a ton. But until next time, guys, be good and be well.